and Nikita from some of the adventures. We are on our way to do some gold prospecting. So we live in Big Lake, and we're heading down to Seward, which is about 3.5 hours from our house. And we are pulling our 40-foot horse trailer with 3 horses and gear. And we just passed Anchorage. That's the hillside. And Turnagain Arm. And Hope is on the other side of the Turnagain Arm. So, long time coming. We were able to land a babysitter. Nikita's mother is in town visiting and offered to send us off for a couple days. So here we are doing the thing. Professional parents. Yeah. But this is the Seward Highway, the most dangerous highway in Alaska. Because the majority of it is a two-lane road, 2-lane highway, so lots of traffic and action happens heading down to the Kenai Peninsula and to Homer, especially in the summertime. You got locals, you have fishermen, and then you have tourists, and then you got truckers and all the regular activity. So see all this traffic, they're stuck behind that slowpoke up front. So you got people coming back from Kenai. Dip netting season is getting wrapped up right now, so a lot of action about to come back from there. And of course all your ocean fishing folks. But the towns south of Anchorage, more major towns, is Girdwood, Whittier. You got that Hope turnoff. You got Seward, which is down at the end of this highway, and then backtracking when you take a right off of it, there's Sterling, Kenai, Kasilof, Anchor Point, Inilchik, Homer, and a handful of other villages that are down this end of this highway. So, but yeah, from Homer to Dead Horse, it's over a 24-hour drive across the whole state. So it's a long haul. But go ahead, show them. This is the Turnagain Arm, part of the sunset. Beautiful night. We just had a big storm pass through, and the weather's clearing up. It's really beautiful. And this arm, Turnagain Arm, a lot of that, it's low tide, so a lot of that exposed muck and sand is what you see there. And there's just comes in an action called ore tide. So there's like a wave that goes up this whole arm. The wave's about 2 feet high, sometimes 3, and it legit, the tide comes in as a wave, and surfers, crazy Alaska surfers, actually hop on and cruise this wave. They can go for quite a way. So it's quite the sport. It's very few places in the world that have ore tide. It's partially behind the how narrow this is, and then how the currents work, and obviously how shallow this is. So it kind of just hits the sand and cruises for a while. I was fishing once here for hooligan in the springtime with a net, and that board tide came through, and I tried to stand and let it kind of, pass me, kind of like a little wave, but it was like a boiling river. Like it was some force. I had to get out because it was about to knock me off my feet. But we're about to lose service. We're between Anchorage and Girdwood. But we are heading south to Seward, and we're going to be doing some gold prospecting in the mountains. We got 3 of our horses with us, and we're going to go back in, spend the night at the trailhead, and then I go back in the hills for the day. There's this creek I'm trying to check out, or this old timer told me about. He was back there 20 years ago, and he was very successful getting some gold, so we are gonna see if that is true. And if we like what we see, we are going to we're gonna go stake a claim. We're gonna stake a claim and invest a little bit more time and energy into this spot. So we'll see how it goes today. Hey Macy, thank you for your attention and appreciate your subscription. You're doing very good. This channel, Albatross, is an adventure channel. We live in Alaska. We do hunting, fishing, gold mining, horseback riding. I'm a welder, so I do some welding work on here. So, nah, Joseph, there's plenty of people without that driving off this highway. I'm good. I don't want to be the statistic. It's already called the most dangerous highway in Alaska for a reason. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for your subscription, Iris. Bye-bye. And yeah, so we're going to be going up this creek, and there's a lot of bears up there, so we got a few boomsticks with us, and like I said, we're riding our horses back in the hills. So horses do pretty good with bears because they're a lot bigger than a bear. And bears kind of, respect the size and how big those horses are. Yeah, there's more than one crack in my window. There's probably about 8. This is Alaska. This is I've had a new windshield, and within a week a whole crack across the whole window. So thankfully they don't give us tickets for this because just the way it is, I guess. They're not too stingy about that. I've seen some really beat up windows. But that's the Alaska Railroad hauling oil and materials back and forth across the state. Right there between the highway and the ocean, a little strip of land. Привет всем. Говорим по-русски. Вижу вас. Спасибо за внимание. And hi Iris, thanks for coming back. But pretty soon here in a couple miles we're going to lose service in a little bit, but well, actually in 30 miles on the turnoff there's a town called Whittier. You see where that mountain is right there? So just to the left of it there's a giant tunnel going through the mountain.
About a mile?
Yeah, the tunnel's about a mile, and it's a one-way tunnel road, and you got buses, you got cars, and then you got a train using that. And there's a schedule, so you got to catch the tunnel at a certain time if you want to go through it. But that's on the way to the little town of Whittier, where the whole city of Whittier lives in one building, one giant apartment building. It's kind of weird, but that's true. Look it up, Google it if you don't believe me. Weird Alaska fact, Where are you guys all from? There's a bunch of you watching. We are in south central Alaska currently, just outside of Anchorage, heading down to Seward. And we had a big storm pass through, and we're gonna, tomorrow's gonna be a nice clear day, so we're gonna go do some gold mining. Well, not yet, gold prospecting. Prospecting means you're looking for a spot, looking for some color, looking for some sign. We're gonna start with working a creek a little bit and see what that shows us for color, and then if that's promising, we're gonna go. There's a spot where this creek had an old creek bed, and we're gonna dig around in that, because gold is 20 times heavier than water, and it pretty much goes the way of least resistance. So it settles in all the nooks and crannies. Any place that has a little bit of resistance, that'll get catch on. So those old creek beds will hold it up pretty good, especially that they're filled in with over time with debris, which turns into dirt. So those are easier to dig up instead of, like, you know, going through gravel. But it's not all about being easy. We're just mostly going for the adventure, happy to get out into the nature and wildlife and enjoy Alaska. We only get 3 months of really nice weather. Even though this weather that you're looking at here, for most of you in the lower 48, this will be considered winter. But this is our summers, what they look like. If it's not ice and snow, it's decent weather. It's warm, you know. Yeah, Iris, it's 10 o'clock here in Alaska. We still got light. And what part of Georgia are you from? I used to live down in South Carolina, and I went to Georgia all the time. Hey Jake, thanks for joining. Where are you from? What part of the world are you watching at? Better view of Turnagain Arm here. Beautiful. It's called an arm, but some of you would understand more like a bay. It's like a really long finger, about approximately 40 miles. Some people also know that as a fjord, but the tide is out right now. That's why you see all this black sand. It's pretty much quicksand is what you see right there exposed. It's pretty wild. If you're ever in Alaska visiting and you see a beach, do your homework about that beach. Don't go run out there, because you'll get sucked in. It happens every year. People get sucked in, and then they try to rescue them. Sometimes they, you know, throw a harness on you and try to pull you out with a helicopter, but some gnarly things happen with that. So Alaskan beaches, just be careful if you come here. Not every beach is friendly. Lots of quicksand. But we're driving all the way around this bay, this arm. Straight across is where the highway is going to be, but we got to go all the way around it, because that's how Alaska is. There's not enough people here to make a demand for them to pump a bridge across. We live in the Matsu Valley, and there's a very large population that drives to Anchorage every day. They drive around the Turnagain Arm, and about 30,000 people on the road back and forth, 1 hour drive, and they haven't built a bridge even for that much of a demand. With a bridge, that ride would be cut in half, but yeah, it's just how it is. But we love it. It's a quiet place to be. Very beautiful, scenic, lots of mountains. Mountains are an everyday thing up here, and we are very lucky to go explore, go hike, ride our horses back there, do a lot of hunting in the mountains. That's where most of it happens. We usually hunt for moose every year, and sometimes we hunt for bear and sheep, caribou. was Georgia. How come you guys aren't sleeping in Georgia? Tennessee is nice too. Yeah. Yeah, horses are a lot of fun. We enjoy them. Yeah.
I think what's really fun about prospecting in this area is that there's no motorized vehicle use. And so we're able to take the horses.
Sorry guys, we're back and forth in service. Alright.
But we're going to try to find some we're trying to find a claim out on federal land, and there's different rules for different parts of I guess agency-owned land. So you get the state of Alaska, you have Forest Service, and you have BLM out here, and so there's different rules for prospecting and taking a claim and all that. So that's also something you guys are interested in, or gold mining, just let us know. Or if you just want to stick to the horses. But
yeah.
We're pretty excited just to be out and playing up our backyard, essentially. But yeah, so hoping that we'll find something. We have collected some gear over the course of a few years.
Yeah.
So not only horse gear, but gold mining gear. So it's going to be fun to break that out of the shed and get it wet and just go crazy out there. We're really hoping for some good weather. Like Ilya said, we had a pretty decent storm pass through. So August, really into August, we have a lot of rain that comes into the season. Everything is green and beautiful, so like hiking is gorgeous. It's just a lot of rain. So this is kind of like where Alaska transitions to our fall time. And then everybody gets ready for hunting. So we're pretty excited to be out going down south of where we live. About, what, 3 hours?
3.5 hours, yeah.
So excited to get out and see some different terrain. I think that's like the coolest thing about Alaska is that you can travel a couple hours and you have completely different looking trees. You have an ocean, like Ilya was saying, like out here in Girdwood. We're headed towards Girdwood, but out here like the beaches are essentially quicksand versus you go down to Homer and you have an actual rock beach. It's beautiful. And then you go up to Fairbanks where you don't have necessarily adventure out on horseback. I think is incredible because we have an increased access to gold prospecting, gold mining, hunting, you name it. And I think it also gives us a bit more of an advantage when it comes to wildlife, so with bear and moose. As far as like riding, you can really sense the horse if they're worked up about something. Bears tend to be really stinky, and so they'll pick up on a bear smell, and moose tend to make a whole lot of noise while they're walking, so they'll pick up on it, and then they'll typically alert us before we get to see. So it's kind of a nice
about to pull into Girdwood here in about 15 minutes. I can see the lights in Girdwood and a little bit better angle here of the Turnagain Arm. Oh, the tide is out and it's going to be coming in around midnight, so if you're ever out here, check the tides and make sure to watch that board tide. It's a very amazing experience. It's like nothing I've ever seen before. Good enough for surfers to come up here from all over the world and to surf this board tide that comes up this little bay. And when the tide tide is in all the way. You got your windsurfers as well. Of course, they're wearing dry suits and wetsuits because this water is about 40 degrees. It's very cold. There's drainages from these mountains. Obviously, you can see the snow on them that's still melting. It's August already, and the snow hasn't melted yet. And what you can't see is all the glaciers. So the rivers that fall into here, into the Turnagain Arm, are fed by glaciers. And those glaciers are ice cold. That's what a glacier is. It's solid ice. It melts in the winter, in the summer, excuse me, and it grows in the winter. And very cool. There's lots of glaciers that you could access by foot in this area. You got the Byron Glacier, that's just before the tunnel in Whittier. And then you got the Exit Glacier. We're going to be just down the road from that here in about 2 hours. And you could drive your car right up to the parking lot, walk up the trail, and then walk out onto the ice for free. You don't need a tour guide, just some shoes. Yeah, you're not afraid to get wet and play in the snow in the middle of summer. It's pretty awesome. So, where are you guys all from? We got a couple people from Georgia and Tennessee. Curious where YouTube lights us up around the world. Thank you guys for watching. We are, like I said earlier, going gold prospecting. We've been trying to get to this area. We made one hike back there 4 years ago. It was 4 miles one way, and we walked back in there, and we played around and washed some rocks. And 3 years later, we're coming back with horses, and we're going to try to find something promising and stake a claim, and hopefully mine some gold the next couple of years, so we can bring you some cool gold mining content and life in Alaska the way it is. This is us living it. This is what we do, and we love it. And we started this channel to bring you guys the content of life in the last frontier. So appreciate your support. See these people over here, they're just camping right there in the pullout. Imagine camping with a view like that. The sunset's has come down behind us, and it's gonna pop up right behind those mountains at about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning is when the sunset's gonna come up. What a spectacular sight that must be. So this little town we're about to pull up to, it's Girdwood, Alaska. And it has a very sophisticated ski resort. They have quite a few chairs and a restaurant bar at the very top of the mountain. And within the last couple of years, that resort has got a little sauna complex. So it's called the Nordic Spa. They have 5 different types of saunas and hot tubs and cold plunges. It's a very, very cool experience to go there, especially after a long day of hiking or fishing. Stop by in Girdwood and go chill in the saunas. Very happy to have that new addition to that resort. But that ski resort is a world-class destination. People from all over the world come to ski there. And they have world-class hills and runs. So I guess that's enough for people to come out from all over the world to try it. Like from Girdwood, Alaska at 10:40 at night. It's still light here. We're so far up north that in the summertime we get what's called the white nights. The sun, when it rolls miles down to the other side of the world, we were able to get a few bits of sunshine rays that stick around here for a little bit. So that's why it's light here still. All the month of June, you get about 18 to 20 hours of daylight, and you legit have to get blackout curtains for your windows because it's lit. It really is. So either drink a lot of coffee or black out your windows and sleep. Well, a lot of people get real funny in the summer because they don't sleep. You know, you got all this daylight, you got so much stuff to do, so you just cruise on the daylight till you go on 24 hours or more of no sleep, and you go a little crazy, and then you go get some sleep. So if you're visiting Alaska and you see some weird locals, just don't judge too hard. Don't judge too hard. We don't get much sleep up here in the summer.
I think that, and we have like 3 solid months of summer.
Yeah.
Versus like down south, they get it like a good couple of months of summer. They get a nice beautiful spring for about a month, and then a fall. Whereas like our spring, I think, happens within 2 weeks maybe, if that. And then all of a sudden it's like full on summer for 3 months, and then a week of fall. So it's really hard to. And then in those 3 months you have all of the fishing that comes through. So the first one that hits out here that we typically go to is hooligan fishing. Oh, am I gonna be on the screen now? But we'll come out here and we'll go hooligan fishing, and so that one's pretty fun. It's a smaller net and I guess a smaller fish. What are they typically called? Candlefish?
Candlefish or hooligan. They're a little bit bigger than smelt.
But they're really good eating. And so hooligan typically hit in May, and the reds that come in June, and then the kings and silvers come in. So it's like just madness when it comes to Alaska summers. And then you have harvest. You have a ton of medicinal plants that grow out here in Alaska, so that's pretty fun to go and collect. Don't know if you guys are interested in that type of content, but let us know. And for now, it's just going to be hiking, fishing, what we can squeeze in a busy work day.
Oh yeah.
Of welding and watching little kiddos. So I'm going to flip the camera back. But like Ilya was saying, it's about 10:40 at night. Gonna go gold prospecting, check out some gorgeous views.
There's a little bit of snowpack from last winter right there. By the way, this spot right here, I believe, in March 2 years ago, there was an avalanche that a train was passing and it socked in, and thankfully it was a cargo train, so nobody got hurt, but it completely got this train stuck on the side of the mountain, and they had to clear it and yank it out. It wasn't able to get out on its own, which is wild because those trains have all the power there. You know, they haul hundreds of cars with lots of weight, but they couldn't manage a little snow. But that's the elements up here. Very unforgiving. If you're out in the great outdoors, you must be prepared. If you're not prepared with gear, just be prepared mentally to be able to take on what comes, because things can change really quickly. Look how still that water is. So that water is moving. It's moving very slowly. Because there's no wind, it's still and mirror-like. These mountains are reflecting perfectly in the water. Amazing. Welcome to visit in Alaska. I would recommend summer for a more pleasant experience. Winter is beautiful too, but it gets a little nippy. So summer times. There's definitely more to do. And more places are open because a lot of places cater to tourists and visitors. So they are open in the summer and ready for business. It's kind of how it is up here. Tourism is a big industry. Keeps things going in addition to all the other industries that are up here. But before we lose service here in a little bit, I'm going to pull off and show you our horses and our rig. So if you hang out for a little bit more here, we will introduce you to some horses and call it for the day.
Are we gonna stop by in Whittier, or right outside the Whittier pullout? Or
I think I'm going to lose service before then.
oh,
They're going to stop by the 20-mile bridge maybe.
oh, the fishing spot, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Maybe even earlier. We'll see what it looks like. They've been doing a lot of road construction, so a lot of things are different.
So beautiful tonight. You can see the horse trailer back there. We got 3 of our rideable horses now. We got Spartacus back from the trainer, as some of our subscribers may have seen Ilya riding him for the first time after he's been trained up. So we were taking him out in the backcountry. Gonna go see some. Oh, alright.
So there are unofficially 2 seasons in Alaska. You have winter and then you have construction season. So we're going to use this moment. I want to hop out and show you the horses while we're at a road stop. Thanks for joining us. We're about to run out of cell service, and we will keep you posted on our adventure. We'll be out of cell service for a couple days. You guys have a good night.